The unexpected war. The stars above Earth shined peacefully, unaware of the war that was about to begin. For centuries, humanity had looked up at the sky with wonder. They had dreamed of meeting other civilizations, of sharing knowledge, of building friendships among the stars. But when the aliens came, they did not come with greetings. They came with fire. The invasion started without warning. One moment, Earth was at peace. The next, the skies tore apart as massive alien ships appeared, dark and cold like floating tombs. They blocked the sun, casting cities into shadows. At first, people thought it was a mistake, some kind of misunderstanding. But the truth became clear very quickly. The aliens opened fire. Cities burned. Oceans boiled. Satellites fell from the sky, like dying birds. No demands, no negotiation. Just destruction. Commander Ryan watched from the command center deep beneath the mountains. Screens around him showed chaos. Soldiers fighting hopeless battles. Families fleeing in terror, whole. Nations falling within hours. How could this happen? Whispered Lieutenant Maya, standing beside him. Ryan said nothing. He knew. They had been warned. Years ago, secret signals had been detected. Strange, unnatural patterns from deep space. Humanity had ignored them, too busy fighting among themselves, too proud to prepare, and now they were paying the price. Evacuate the civilians, Ryan ordered calmly. Prepare the fallback bunkers. Maya hesitated. And our forces, sir? Ryan looked at the screens one more time. Then he spoke, voice steady. Tell them to hold the line. Even if it cost them everything. For 3 long days and nights, humanity fought back. Jet fighters streaked across the burning skies. Soldiers dug in among the ruins, firing at impossible odds. Submarines launched missiles from deep under the seas, striking alien ships in desperate counterattacks. And for a moment, just a moment, it looked like humanity might survive. They destroyed one of the alien motherships over New York. They shot down another over Tokyo. The news spread like wildfire. People cheered. Hope flared. Maybe, just maybe, Earth could win, but hope died quickly. The aliens unleashed their true weapons, machines larger than mountains, creatures made of living metal, swarms of drones that blotted out the sky. Earth's defenses crumbled. Whole continents went. Silent, Ryan stood before the Global Command Council, the last leaders of a dying world, and listened as one by one, they reported their losses. Europe is gone. Asia is burning. Africa, no response. America is falling. He closed his eyes, breathing slowly. This was not a war. This was extermination. And yet, somewhere deep inside him, a small voice whispered, "Not yet. Not without a fight." "What's left of our fleets?" Ryan asked. "A few ships in orbit," Maya replied, her voice tight. "Mostly damaged." "Recall them," he said. "Bring everyone back to Earth." The council members stared at him. "Why?" someone asked. "They'll just die too." Ryan opened his eyes. "Because we are not done," he said quietly. "Not yet." While the world burned, Ryan activated Project Final Light, a secret plan buried so deep even the council barely knew it existed. It was not a weapon of mass destruction, not a bomb. It was something far more dangerous. A message. A warning. Final promise to the stars. As the last strongholds of Earth fell, as the skies darkened and the oceans turned red, Ryan sat in the old communication room, surrounded by ancient equipment. Maya stood behind him, silent. He activated the broadcast system. He leaned close to the microphone, and he spoke. His voice was tired but filled with unbroken strength. "This is Commander Ryan of Earth." He paused, breathing slowly. "You came to our home. You destroyed our cities. You killed our people." His voice hardened. "You think you have won." Outside, explosions shook the ground. The walls cracked. The end was close, but Ryan only smiled. "You have not defeated us," he said. You have doomed yourselves. He pressed the final button. The message, and something more, shot into space. A seed planted among the stars. A silent, deadly promise. The room shuddered as the final defenses collapsed. Maya grabbed his arm. "We have to go," she shouted. Ryan shook his head. There's nowhere left to run. He stood calmly watching the screens go dark one by one. Earth was falling, but humanity's story was not over. Not yet. Somewhere, sometime, they would answer for what was done here. And when that day came, the stars themselves would remember the last broadcast from Earth. The fall of Earth. The world ended not with one great explosion but in slow, painful silence. After Ryan's final broadcast, the ground shook as alien war machines swept across the planet. Cities that had stood for hundreds of years crumbled like sandcastles before a rising tide. The last human armies fought bravely. In the ruins of Washington, battered tanks rolled through broken streets, firing at giant walkers that tore through concrete and steel. In London, soldiers and civilians fought side by side, throwing everything they had, guns, fire, even bare hands, at the invaders. In Mumbai, fighters streaked across a smoke-filled sky, dodging alien energy blasts as they struck back again and again. But no matter how hard humanity fought, it was never enough. The aliens were endless, cold, merciless. They crushed resistance like insects underfoot. "Commander," Ryan watched the destruction unfold through the broken screens in the communication center. He could see his world dying. The council had fallen silent now. No more orders. No more desperate strategies. Only the whisper of defeat. Maya stood by him, her face pale, her hands clenched into fists. "Why?" she asked in a broken voice. "Why destroy everything? Why not just rule us?" Ryan shook his head slowly. "Because they don't want slaves," he said. "They want a dead world. They wanted to erase humanity, not just from Earth, but from history itself." Ryan knew why. Fear. Deep down, the aliens feared humanity, feared their stubbornness, feared the dangerous spark inside them, the spark that refused to die even in the darkest night. "They think this is victory," Ryan said softly. "But they have no idea what they've started." Outside, the sky glowed red as alien motherships hovered above the ruins. Massive machines marched across the burning land, scanning for survivors. Every hour, fewer and fewer signals came through the radio. Every hour, humanity slipped closer to extinction. And yet, in hidden places, pockets of resistance survived. Small groups of fighters moved through the shadows. Scientists guarded secret labs deep underground. Old satellites, still orbiting above, carried fragments of human knowledge and hope. Ryan knew they would not save Earth today. But tomorrow was another story. "Commander?" Maya called out suddenly. He turned to see her pointing at one of the few working screens. A transmission was coming through, not from humans, from the aliens. Ryan leaned closer. An image formed, a tall figure in dark armor, with cold, cruel eyes. The alien commander spoke, his voice sharp like broken glass. "Humans of Earth," he said, "your world belongs to us now." Ryan smiled bitterly. "You misunderstand," he muttered under his breath. The alien commander continued, "We have destroyed your armies. Your cities lie in ash. Surrender, and we may allow a few of you to serve." Maya's fists clenched tighter. Ryan tapped the microphone, activating a reply channel. "This is Commander Ryan of Earth," he said calmly. The alien's eyes narrowed. "You are defeated," the alien sneered. "You have nothing." Ryan's smile deepened. "We have something," he said. "What?" "Patience," the alien frowned. "You don't understand," Ryan said quietly. "Earth is not just a place, it's an idea. An idea you cannot kill." The alien commander laughed, a harsh, ugly sound. Then the transmission ended. The screen went black. Maya looked at Ryan, confused. "What? Now?" she asked. Ryan turned away from the dead screens, walking slowly toward the exit. "Now we let them celebrate," he said. "And then?" He smiled without humor. "Then they learn the price of victory." Far above, hidden in the network of satellites still clinging to Earth's orbit, Ryan's final message pulsed through the stars. A message wrapped in something more dangerous than any bomb. Knowledge. Humanity's last gift, and humanity's last curse. The aliens thought they had won. They didn't see what Ryan had planted. Not yet. But they would. Soon. And when they did, it would already be too late. The hidden weapon. The alien fleets floated above the broken world, casting long shadows over the ruins of Earth. To them, victory was complete. The cities were silent. The armies were crushed. The last human voices had fallen into whispers. In the command ship orbiting Earth, alien leaders celebrated their conquest. The Grand Commander, a towering figure with eyes like ice, stood before a massive hologram of Earth. "This world is ours," he said proudly. "Let the records show that humanity is extinct." But even as he spoke, tiny lights blinked on the side of the hologram. Data streams, signals, hidden threads woven through Earth's ruins and the remains of its satellites. The aliens ignored them. After all, what danger could the dead pose? But deep, underground, in places even the aliens had not found, machines stirred to life. Small, silent, and patient. These were not weapons built to destroy cities. They were weapons built to destroy civilizations. Decades ago, when the first signals from deep space were detected, human scientists had made a terrible choice. They knew they might face an enemy too powerful to fight with guns. So they built something else, something smarter. A viral system, designed not to kill bodies, but to infect technology itself. It was called Project Revenant, a program hidden inside Earth's oldest communication networks, satellites, and computers, invisible, waiting, ready to awaken the moment the invaders connected their own systems to human technology, ready to spread. And now, it had begun. The aliens, hungry for human knowledge, had linked their systems to Earth's abandoned networks, searching for databases, searching for weapons, blueprints, searching for anything they could use. They did not realize they were opening the door to their own doom. Tiny pieces of code slipped into their systems, unnoticed. The viruses learned their language, their technology, their weaknesses, and then slowly they started to act. In the alien command ship, strange glitches appeared. Navigation systems flickered. Weapons locked without reason. Engines pulsed in confusion. Technicians muttered, frowning at their screens. Small errors, they said. Nothing serious. They were wrong. Very wrong. Each glitch was a seed. Each malfunction a root digging deeper. Across the fleet, thousands of ships linked to the infected network. The virus spread like fire through dry grass. It changed nothing on the outside, not at first. But inside, deep within the heart of the alien machines, chaos was growing. Commander Ryan had known they would do it. He had trusted in their greed, their pride. He had trusted that they would touch the forbidden technology, hungry for power. And they had. They had poisoned themselves with their own hands. Far from Earth, on alien worlds, the infection traveled through communication channels, trade ships, scout vessels, military databases. One by one, the stars that had once belonged to the conquerors began to flicker and die. At first, it was small. A mining station going silent, a cargo ship vanishing without a trace. Then it grew. Entire colonies collapsed, their systems locked and useless. Cities fell into darkness. Panic spread through the alien empires like wildfire. They didn't know what was happening. They didn't see the pattern. They only knew that everything they touched turned against them. And, far below, buried in Earth's ashes, a single human beacon continued to whisper into space. A simple, haunting message. You have not defeated us. You have doomed yourselves. In the ruins of the communication center, long abandoned now, the broadcast played on a loop, the last voice of a fallen world, and somewhere among the stars, the survivors of humanity, hiding on distant moons and secret bases, listened with quiet pride. They knew their home was gone, but their spirit was not. Earth had fallen, but Earth had taken its killers with it, and soon the universe would remember a painful truth. Humanity was not so easily erased. The silent spread fair, beyond Earth, the empire of the invaders stretched across hundreds of stars. Their cities floated among gas giants. Their space stations circled cold, distant suns. Their colonies covered green planets and barren moons. For centuries they had ruled without fear. But now, without warning, something was changing. It started small. A mining station on a distant moon sent out a distress call. Systems, failure, total blackout. No one answered, no one came. Then another station, closer to the Empire's core, went silent. And another. And another. On the surface, nothing looked wrong. The great fleets still floated proudly in orbit. The soldiers still marched. The governors still ruled. But inside their machines the virus was working, quiet, hidden, merciless. Computers began giving wrong orders. Shields failed during storms. Weapons fired at their own ships. Navigation systems twisted, sending travelers into the cold void of deep space. And the worst part, no one could find the cause. Technicians tore apart the systems. Engineers rebuilt circuits. Scientists ran endless tests. They found nothing. The virus was too smart. It rewrote itself constantly, hiding deeper with every search. Panic began to spread. On homeworlds once filled with pride and power, fear grew in every heart. Meetings turned into shouting matches. Generals blamed engineers. Governors blamed soldiers. No one trusted anyone anymore. And still, the virus spread. Every connection, every signal, every touch made it worse. Colonies once rich and thriving became ghost towns. Ships sent to investigate disappeared without a trace. Drones reported strange images. Empty cities, dead ships drifting through space, lights flickering like dying stars. Some whispered that the humans had cursed them. Others said it was punishment from the gods. But the truth was worse. It was their own greed that had doomed them. Their own pride. In their hunger to steal human knowledge, they had opened the door to their destruction, and now it was too late to close it. High above a dying colony, an alien captain watched as his ship's engines failed one by one. His crew screamed and fought, trying to regain control, but the ship spun helplessly, falling into the atmosphere. He closed his eyes just before impact, and far away, in the dark of space, a single signal kept pulsing. Steady, relentless. You have not defeated us. You have doomed yourselves. The survivors among the aliens began to realize the terrible truth. This was not an accident. This was a war they had already lost, and the enemy they thought they had crushed was still fighting, not with armies, but with patience, with silence, with time. On secret bases hidden inside asteroid fields, human survivors watched through old satellites. They saw the empire crumbling. They saw the panic, the fear, the collapse. They said nothing. They waited. They remembered. Humanity had always been good at surviving, at adapting, at fighting back, even when they had nothing left but anger and hope. And now the stars that had once mocked them burned with chaos. The invaders had thought they were ending a weak species. Instead, they had woken a storm. And the storm was just beginning. Panic in the stars. The empire that had once ruled the stars now trembled in fear. Their proud fleets drifted helplessly through space, their systems frozen or hijacked by invisible hands. Cities that had once glowed with life now flickered like dying embers. Whole planets went dark without a single shot fired. The virus moved too fast, too quietly. By the time anyone noticed a problem, it was already too late. Panic spread across the empire like fire across dry grass. In the great council chambers, leaders shouted at each other, their voices full of fear. "We must find the humans. One cried, "They are dead," another shouted back, "We destroyed them." "Then why are we dying?" came the desperate reply. No one had answers, only fear. Across the empire, desperate commands were sent. Disconnect from all human technology. Shut down the infected systems, isolate the ships, ground the fleets. But none of it worked. The virus was already inside them. It lived in their machines. It lived in their communication. It lived in the very heart of their empire, and it was not slowing down. Alien generals ordered brutal purges, destroying entire stations and cities in the hope of stopping the infection. They burned their own colonies. They killed their own people. But the virus laughed at their panic. It needed no armies, no ships, only time. And time was on humanity's side. On the distant ruins of Earth, old satellites still blinked weakly in orbit, sending out that same relentless signal. You have not defeated us. You have doomed yourselves. The surviving humans watched silently from their hidden bases. They saw alien fleets tearing themselves apart. They saw empires fall without a single human weapon being fired. They saw justice, slow and cold, carried by their final act of defiance. On the bridge of a once mighty flagship, the alien admiral slumped in his chair. His screen showed the fall of their last major colony. He clutched his head in despair. "How?" he whispered. "How did they do this?" No one answered. His officers were either dead or had abandoned ship. He was alone, a dying king on a crumbling throne. He stared out the window, watching a nearby planet burn in the darkness. And somewhere in the back of his mind, he remembered the human's last broadcast, the calm voice, the quiet promise. He had not understood it then. He understood it now. Earth had not fought to win. Earth had fought to make sure that even in death, they would not lose. And they hadn't. In every broken ship, every burning city, every dying star, Earth lived on. Through their patience, through their sacrifice, through the unstoppable force of an idea. Freedom. The admiral's ship powered down, completely, drifting into the void. His last sight before darkness swallowed him was the image of Earth, cracked and broken, yet still spinning slowly in space. Defiant, unchained, undefeated. And as silence closed over him, he heard the last human words echo in his mind. "You have doomed yourselves." Legacy of ashes, the empire had fallen. Their grand fleets floated silently, empty shells lost among the stars. Their glittering cities were nothing but cold ruins. Their proud colonies, once full of life and laughter, were abandoned, forgotten under dying suns. It had taken only a few years, not through weapons, not through armies, but through silence, through patience, through the last gift of a dying humanity. Hidden among the wreckage of worlds, small groups of human survivors emerged. They had waited in shadows, in hidden bunkers deep under the earth, on secret stations drifting among asteroids, on moons without names. They had watched quietly while the empire crumbled. And now, slowly, they began to rebuild. Not with anger, not with hate, but with hope. On a small green world once ruled by the invaders, a group of humans planted the first seeds of a new colony. Children played among the ruins, their laughter pure and bright against the broken stones. The elders taught them not just about Earth, but about what had happened. They told stories of courage, of sacrifice, of the day humanity chose to lose a battle, but win the war. Commander Ryan's last broadcast became sacred words among them, not because it promised revenge, but because it promised that no matter how dark the night, humanity would endure. Maya, older now, walked among the new settlements. She wore simple clothes, no longer a soldier but a teacher, a guide. She carried with her a small battered device, the last recorder of Ryan's message. Every year, on the same day, they would gather around fires under the stars. They would listen to the old recording, crackling and worn, but still full of strength. "You have not defeated us. You have doomed yourselves." And they would remember. They would honor not just the soldiers who fought, But the farmers, the scientists, the teachers, the dreamers, everyone who refused to give up even when the world ended. Maya often looked up at the sky, wondering how many other survivors were out there, on distant worlds, among forgotten moons. Humans who had escaped the fall, carrying pieces of Earth in their hearts. One day they would find each other again. One day humanity would rise together, stronger than before, not because of hatred, but because of memory, because of hope, because Earth was never just a place. It was an idea too stubborn to die. Somewhere far beyond the new settlements, broken alien cities still stood, silent and empty. The wind whispered through them, carrying echoes of the past. And if you listened very carefully, you could almost hear the last human message still drifting through the stars. A promise, a warning, a legacy. Humanity had fallen, but humanity had also planted something the invaders could never destroy, an unbreakable will, a light that no darkness could erase. And from the ashes of old worlds, something new and beautiful would grow. Not built on conquest, not built on fear, but built on dreams, on courage, on the endless stubborn hope that had always defined humanity. And this time, the stars would not be taken by force. They would be taken by wonder, by exploration, by life. A legacy written not in blood, but in the endless songs of survivors who refused to be forgotten. The final message: the stars stretched endlessly above the new human settlements. For the first time in many years, the night sky was calm. No alien ships, no burning cities, only the quiet song of the universe, ancient and patient. On a small hill, overlooking the growing village, Maya stood holding the old recording device. Children gathered around her, their faces full of wonder. Young men and women born after the fall sat in silence, ready to listen. It was time. The tradition that had started with a handful of survivors was now a ceremony. Every year, they remembered. Every year, they honored the message that had saved their spirit when everything else was lost. Maya pressed the button. A crackle filled the air, soft and broken but strong. Then the voice came through. Commander Ryan's voice. "This is Commander Ryan of Earth." The children listened with wide eyes. They had heard the story many times, but it never lost its power. "You came to our home. You destroyed our cities. You killed our people." Maya closed her eyes, remembering the day she had first heard these words in the ruins. "You think you have won?" A long pause. Even now the silence was heavy with meaning. "You have not defeated us. You have doomed yourselves." The message ended, but its weight lingered. Maya opened her eyes. She looked at the faces around her. New faces, new hopes. "What does it mean?" a small boy asked, his voice clear in the quiet night. Maya smiled gently. "It means," she said, "that we are more than our bodies, more than our cities, more than our armies." She pointed to the stars. "It means that even if we fall, we rise again, we remember, we rebuild." The boy nodded slowly. Maya knelt down beside him. "It means we are never truly defeated," she said softly, "as long as we refuse to give up." The boy smiled, and in that simple smile, Maya saw the future, not of war, not of revenge, but of life, of dreams, of endless journeys among the stars. The old ones had sacrificed everything so that the new ones could dream again, and dream they would. Above them, the stars blinked softly, carrying the silent song of humanity across the galaxy. Far away, on abandoned alien worlds, old machines still played the last human broadcast on endless loops, a reminder to all who might one day listen. A story of loss, a story of strength, a story of hope. Earth had fallen, yes, but Earth had never truly been defeated, because Earth was not just a planet, it was a spirit, a fire that no darkness could ever destroy. And under the endless sky, the children of Earth, the new sons and daughters of humanity, reached out toward the stars, ready to begin again, ready to write a new story. A story not of ending, but of new beginnings. Always. Forever.